Welcome back, my good people. Thank you for clicking on this video. So let's jump into part 3. So today I'm going to show you how I turn these old outdated cabinet doors and turn them into more modern shaker style cabinets without breaking the bank. Yeah, we love saving money around here. Before I started this fireplace makeover, this whole cabinet, the shelves, the fireplace, just everything around the fireplace was just so old, and you know how I feel about that. So here we are. If you've seen part 1 and part 2 of my fireplace makeover, thank you guys so much. So I was trying my best to sand these doors down because my sander was driving me nuts because it was worn out, so it was very difficult to work with. And why am I sanding in socks? I have no idea. These doors just looked plain gross. The previous owner looked like they painted multiple times and they didn't do a very good job, I must say. And I didn't get to record a video of me taking the hardwares off. I just jumped into it. I wasn't thinking about recording, like I said in my first video. So sorry about that, guys, but it's okay. I just want to show you what it looked like before I started sanding it down. They even painted the hinges. They painted the door on. They painted the pulls. They just went on a painting spree and it looked bad. It looked so gross. So this is all I have of the before. I believe I sanded them down one more time. Here you can see how beautiful it looks with the natural wood showing. I enjoy sanding just to see that part. I just love the look of natural wood. So yeah, I enjoy it. And here is the fun part where I'm adding the wood. The wood that I'm using I picked up from Lowe's. It's the poplar boards. It is a 1/4 inch thick, 3 inches wide, and 4 feet long. And they do have some smaller pieces, but I went with this one. I went to Home Depot first, and I didn't see what I was looking for. And mind you, now I didn't know what I was looking for. I just went, looked at the board, and I'm like, okay, this will work. I got this miter saw from Harbor Freight. If you don't know about Harbor Freight, they sell a lot of tools for half the price that you will get it from the regular hardware store. So this is a 10-inch miter saw. I love it. So I purchased 8 pieces of the poplar boards. So whenever I cut it for the length, the shorter piece that's left, I use that for the width of the door. So that was pretty good. I didn't waste any. It was just the right amount. So I was really happy about that. I tried my best to get the perfect cut for this because I didn't want to cut too much off and then I would just ruin the whole thing. Then I'd have to go back to the store and that's just too much work. So I'm really proud of myself for doing this project all by myself. And I'm sorry if I'm not explaining like my measurements or anything like that, but if you're trying this project as well, just measure it to fit your door. So I hope it's pretty self-explanatory. And here I started gluing the wood to the door. I used the Gorilla wood glue, and this glue is really good. When I went to Home Depot to pick up the glue, I didn't know which one I was gonna get because of course, like I said, this is new to me. This is my first time doing it. I went by myself. My husband is at work, so he couldn't help me. I have no patience. I couldn't wait on him. So I went to the store and I stood there looking at the glue, different kind of glues, and I saw this guy he looked like he worked in construction. I said, which one of these glues do you think is a good wood glue? And he told me to go with the Gorilla Glue, so that's what I did. And I just put these paint cans on top of it after I glued it so it keep the glue intact. And then I begin to use nails to nail it in just to keep it more secure. This is after I glued the board. So I picked up wire nails. I've also picked this up in Home Depot. I'm not sure if it's actually that's the name that's on the package, and it's a number 18 by 3¼ inches. That worked pretty good for me. I hate buying nails by myself. It is the hardest thing. There's so many different kinds of nails and I have no idea. All right, time to fill those nail holes and any other gaps that's there to be filled. I used the mini wax color matched wood filler in the color natural. I love this wood filler as well. Really, really nice. I also want to piggyback to where I started nailing. I did let the glue dry completely before I started nailing, so just want to point that out. And I used the wood filler to fill all four sides of the doors. That's where you can see where I add the wood and there's like a little gap. So I just went ahead and filled those in, and then I just let it dry overnight or maybe a few days because I was so tired. I had to give myself a break. And then I just sanded it down to make it really nice and smooth, and I used a 220 grit sanding block for this. Here I probably put too much pressure when I was sanding, so I sanded away the wood filler so I could see the nail right here, so I just did it over, I think. So we made it to priming. So here I should have used a tack cloth to get away the extra dust that was on the doors, but I didn't have that on hand, so I just used this brush. It's not wise, but gotta use what I have. This is the same primer that I used for the cabinet, and this is the Zinsser primer. Hey, I think I'm saying it correct now. What do you guys think? You know, I was kind of worried that this board was going to be too thick for the doors when I first started doing it, but it's really not. Came out good. Hey, and don't talk about my dirty baseboards. Yeah, I know it needs paint. The whole house needs paint. It's a work in progress. And cheers to the fun part. The boring part for most, but for me, I enjoy painting when I have something to drink. I just get a good vibe, you know? And isn't it amazing how paint can transform a room? Just anything. It is one of the cheapest ways to change up a space and makes the biggest impact. It's like magic. What do you guys think? That's how I feel. By the way, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the type of content that I'm bringing to my channel now. If you have been subscribed to my channel for a while, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Part 4? By the way, I'm using the same paint that I used for the cabinet. This is the Beer Cabinet and Trim enamel paint. Hope I said that right. And I used the 2-inch polyester paintbrush, and here I'm using the 4-inch high density foam mini roller. And by the way, I'm using 2 coats of paint. I let the first one dry before I went in and did the second one. I probably did the second one the next day, and I don't think I showed that part in this video, but yeah, that's what I did. And here's what it looks like after the first coat of paint, and I let it dry for about 2 hours before I apply the second coat. This is the back side of the door with the first coat of paint as well. And remember, I didn't sand this side as much as I did the front. That's because the front had paint and all different type of stuff on there. So yeah, the back side didn't need to be sanded as much. It wasn't necessary. At this point, I was super excited that it is coming to an end, but yes, I know I should have drilled the holes for the pulls before I painted, before I primed, all of that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And then we didn't have the correct drill bit to drill the holes, so Ah, that was another pain, but we got through it. So yeah. So the reason why it's smoking is because we didn't have the correct drill bit. This is all we had at that time. So yeah, that's why it's a little smoky, but we're safe. Everything went well, except for a little crack that I'm gonna have to try and fix. So if you're planning on doing this project, please drill your holes for your poles or for your knobs before you start priming or painting. Learn from me. So here's the little chip from drilling the new hole. And the poles that we're using is a 5-inch door pole. So we pretty much drilled through the top hole from the inside and then measured 5 inches for the bottom hole, if that makes sense. And can we take a moment to appreciate this beautiful flowers that I cut from the backyard? I am so in love with it. And it's time to add the hinges. So these are the same hinges that I'm using, the same old ones. I just cleaned them up because it had paint on it, but that's okay. I soaked it in some soap and water and some boof off. So I soaked that overnight. The next day I just used a little brush, cleaned it off, let that dry, and then I spray painted it black. Alright guys, this is the final result. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching to the end. Make sure to like and subscribe because that would really help me out, and stay tuned for the next one. Also, if you haven't seen my fireplace makeover videos part 1 and part 2, please check those out as well. I have that linked below, and stay tuned for part 4. I'll see you guys then. Bye!